Good morning, good morning. Welcome to Trooper Steve on patrol. We are in the Champions Gate area today. Now you might be scratching your head going, Steve, what the heck are you doing in Champions Gate? For anyone who's not familiar with this area, it's busy, very busy. And anytime I talk about it, the only thing you can think of is traffic, is construction. Champions Gate is located in our southern portion of Central Florida. I-4, Osceola Polk Line Road. It's right at the Osceola and Polk County lines, hence Osceola Polk Line Road. South of it's Polk County, north of it is Osceola. And in this area is one of the biggest commuting areas to connect to I-4 for the attractions for Point Siena and Kissimmee. A lot of people might be going, what? Point Siena and Kissimmee that far? Yeah, this is that cut through. You got to remember, Point Siena was built before a lot of the infrastructure was put into place for transportation. And these local two-lane roads were used to get over to I-4, hence why the traffic's so bad for years and years and years. I used to patrol this area full time. Lived down here, and just an absolute mess. And then coming down here today, Randall, a viewer, had sent it, and he's like, listen man, I have no question, but can you just go down there, check it out, so we can all see what I see and what I talk about? Hence Randall being I and me being talking about it all the time. So I figured, let's just cut out and get down here and drive around so you can kind of see what's going on. And it is interesting because the construction is fairly intense. So I'm on Old Lake Wilson right now. We're gonna go north on Old Lake Wilson, where it's a single lane here, and approach Osceola Polk Line Road. And the crazy part is I haven't been down here in quite some time. I had no, honesty is the key to all this. I had no clue it was this bad. Look at the car driving in the construction zone to the left. In the construction zone, not supposed to be there, made a wrong turn. This is the kind of stuff that is the contributing factor to the delays, is because so many people either just do what they want, don't follow the rules, or aren't paying attention and get really confused. So this is a very active construction zone. My mind's a little blown. I knew it was active down here. I just did not know we were that busy all the time. And if you look, I'll cut back to it real quick. Look to the right shoulder here. Daytime, 8:30 in the morning, 8:35. There are crews out here. This is not just an evening construction zone. This is an around the clock. Now, why is this happening? So if you live out here, your stress level is probably through the roof, because you live out here with a almost 50-50 split of permanent residents and vacation homes. So Champions Gate also is shared with the area of Reunion. So see that? Gotta also watch out for construction vehicles that do want to merge into traffic out here. And you gotta remember that causes a big slowdown too. These vehicles are not as fast or agile as maybe ours are. So you have to be careful when they're cutting in and out of traffic. See here? Now back off to the dirt shoulder. So this is a highly active construction zone. The 7-Eleven off to my left is the only thing I really remember being out here. Now, we're gonna head east on Osceola Polk Line Road from Old Lake Wilson, just so we can see how things have happened here. Now, the right side of the road is Polk County, and the left side is Osceola. This is still the same. 2 lanes, east and westbound, curvatures out in the roadway. Very active, and the crazy part is, my gosh, there are apartments booming up everywhere back here. So we're eastbound, we're approaching Lake Wilson Reserve. We're gonna turn around over here, get turned around. Maybe not, a lot of traffic there. Yeah, why not? We'll get turned around here, traffic isn't as bad. Old Lake Wilson Road at Osceola Polk Line will get turned around so we can join traffic. I don't want to cut anybody off, so I'll make a U-turn here. The Atlantica Town Center. So we're going to make a U-turn here. Construction, wait for all the cars to clear. Lake Wilson Preserve. I want to go back and actually sit at Old Lake Wilson and Champions Gate, Osceola Polk Line Road for a little bit, so we can get a little bit of a better understanding on the craziness. Let's see how many people will actually make a complete stop. No one has so far. So we're southbound Old Lake Wilson, northbound. No one stopped. 3 cars, no stop. This one's only going to do the complete stop because there's cars coming, and I think they know multiple cameras are actively streaming, and they're being overly cautious at this point, which I'm okay with. I'm okay with an overly cautious driver as long as it's not impeding the flow of traffic. So always, even if there's no cars coming, complete stop. Left and right, right one more time, left and go. Just because there's no cars coming doesn't mean you don't have to like follow the rules. And I think that is a big part of it, is the understanding that there are rules out here, and if we abide by them, the flow of traffic becomes much better. When drivers begin to do their own thing, there is the trickle-down effect, and in return, we all suffer, right? So we're westbound on Osceola Polk Line Road, approaching, I've said it so many times, to me it sounds wrong. I'm approaching Old Lake Wilson. Randall sent us out here. This is one of the busiest areas, but it is under like heavy reconstruction right now. So I'm going to pull off into the construction zone actually, out here, so you can kind of see what's going on. We'll talk a little bit about how crazy this intersection is. Kind of want to get closer. So the biggest thing I could say about Champions Gate and Old Lake Wilson is the issue is we are on a daytime construction. This is an around-the-clock construction zone. And that is a problem because ultimately we become very used to nighttime construction to where it's not going to bother us, and then we hit the road, we're doing our normal mentality, and boom, we're impeded. That's when you get me to say, look, there is no such thing as normal. You have to adapt with what you're encountering out on the road every single day. So if you're just joining us, Randall sent us out here to Champions Gate, and it's an interesting setup out here because of how the construction is. And I'm trying to find a good place to sit so we can view the construction just a little bit better. I'm gonna go up on Old Lake Wilson up over here so we can see just how things are developing down in this area, which is crazy. You have to remember some areas have no shoulder. So looking both ways multiple times is key here. I just saw somebody, you just saw that car pull out in front. We're gonna pull into Liberty Blue here. They say residents only, and they provide a small little turnaround for us. County Road 545, which is Old Lake Wilson. Remember, always look multiple times in a construction zone because the barrels do impede your vision, and you don't want that problem. I'm trying to find a good place to pull off. Just give me a second here. But look at the shoulder to the right. This entire area, and then the key thing is the little traffic things that we choose not to do. You know what I'm talking about? Turning signals. Hear it? Indicate where you're going, please. Every square inch of this area is under complete construction. And as you can see here, it can get interesting. So we're going to monitor it out here a little bit, see what we can see. So part of on patrol is I want to show you actual violations. So with that, little baseball speed gun we're adding to our equipment here. Now obviously can't write tickets of it, it's not 100% accurate, but it's accurate enough for us to show you exactly maybe how fast some of these cars are going through this zone. Looking at it right now, let's test this thing out. So vehicles going away from us. This is accurate, I like it. But Champions Gate is a constant developing area, and the biggest problem that I could say is what we have out here is it's growing and it does not stop. It continues to boom, and we have Reunion, we have Celebration, we have Champions Gate. Those three areas all have permanent and vacation rentals, residents. Then we have the construction. So if you go and check this out later, I'm going to provide a list to my web team of observations that I made while being out here. What have we seen? We've seen a mix of people who have never been out here in their entire life. We have a mix of drivers who have been here from the start and now. And everybody is driving onto travel lanes that look different every single day. That is a big issue out here. So I'm going to answer Randall's question by saying daytime construction in an area of high travel population is probably the key, is the answer to why things are so bad out here during the daytime. Usually we do not see the daytime construction. Let's talk about that. Seminole County is a great example for that. The sun comes up, that I-4-417 traffic stops. Nighttime, we see it. Out here, this is an around-the-clock type situation, which is interesting. Semi-truck just locked up its brakes, not paying attention. Gotta love it, gotta love it. So I am trying to get my internet up and running here. It's saying that my internet is down, but I still have you guys with me, so that is good. Champions Gate, I-4, Osceola Polk Line Road. This is also just east of where we call the Diverging Diamond. That is going to be behind us, west of this area, and that is where it came into complete redesign, complete overhaul, and it worked. So let's go out there. Let's check that area out. Let's see what it has to offer for us, and we can see what things look like. So we'll go make a U-turn, end our live stream, headed west over in that area. Just exited the construction zone, and very active. I have not seen one this active in quite some time, especially when the sun's up in an area of high population, which is really weird. But Randall, I get it, man. I get it. We are facing eastbound, so we're facing towards Kissimmee Point Siena. I-4 behind us. We are on Osceola Polk Line Road at the intersection of Old Lake Wilson, sent to us here by our viewer Randall. Randall, he said, I don't have a question. I just want to know why things are so bad. And we are out here. And Randall, to tell you the truth, it's because of the construction that is happening during the day out here and the lane closures that you would normally only see during a nighttime construction zone. I'm actually really surprised to see that out here. Then, of course, we have Reunion, which is a heavy vacation destination, then mixed with multiple apartment complexes that they are building out here, that's the answer. Mix it with, and then of course drivers like that we just passed, stopped in the middle of a travel lane, and instead of pulling into a parking lot to figure out where they're going, they are stopped in an active travel lane, which makes no sense to me. But hey, that's why we're here, right? So we're cruising eastbound, Osceola Polk Line Road, headed towards I-4. So I'm going to stand corrected. We're headed westbound. And you get the heavy congestion right at that intersection between the I-4 and Old Lake Wilson route. It's not too bad. It's really not too bad. But then again, this is the downtime as we pass Station 73 in Osceola County Fire Station. And this does back up because everyone's headed towards the attractions and, of course, the main line of I-4. When you only have 2 lanes that are going to do that, it just is what it is, guys. There is no cure-all for construction, but there is definitely ways, things we can do, little things we can do to make sure that at least it's not a horrible process, right? Here at Healing Place, beautiful name of a road. And we're going to approach that diverging diamond. The scary part is if you look on top of I-4 right now, how slow the eastbound traffic is. Insane. So we're approaching the diverging diamond. As you can see, your eastbound on-ramp banks to the right. And now, if you look up ahead, traffic is flip-flopped. And if you were looking at this quickly, not knowing what you were approaching, it could be a little confusing. I know looking at this, I'm like, my heart kind of is like, whoa. But obviously, this is separated by major concrete barriers. Traffic does cross each other, but it's always separated by a positive barrier, which keeps things pretty safe and keeps things moving. That was the key with the Florida Department of Transportation, the moving of traffic down here. When you have things sit for too long, obviously it can go wrong. So we're crossing over the diverge, the east end of the diamond. We cross over the other lane. So the right is the eastbound lane. So now we're on the opposite side. This is kind of trippy. So then you come to this side, and if you want to continue into Champions Gate, you got to stay right. On I-4, it says left, keep west, and then you would be able to split off there or even maintain eastbound, which was exactly what we're going to do. Smoothest flow I've ever gone through getting through the Champions Gate area right there. Ever. Never in my life has it been that slow. All right, guys, so that was our hit of the Champions Gate area. We know it could be real busy. I talk about it every single day on the morning news. There has not been one day in almost 6 years that we have not addressed Champions Gate. And when you say Champions Gate, it's obvious. Traffic is involved. Why? Polk County coming in. A lot of people moving to working in the metro area, living outside of our area. But the biggest contributing factor, I think, to the issues at Old Lake Wilson and Osceola Polk Line Road are 3 things. Mixing tourist traffic and residential traffic, and daytime construction over the whole intersection. Major lane closures, shoulders that are non-existent out there, and an entire new traffic pattern. So Randall, I really appreciate you sending me out there. It's easy to talk about, but when you get out and see it, can definitely give you a different perspective. So hope you guys have an amazing Monday. Hope everyone drives safely, and as always, please wear your seatbelt. Tune in to News 6 at 9 coming up in just a few. And of course, you can watch Trooper Steve on patrol anytime over at clickorlando.com.